right after high school, I decided to go immediately into the workforce.
Okay.
Right. And when I went into the workforce, I was 18 at the time. And within 6 short months, I landed in my first leadership role, which was a total surprise to me. It's not like I was going in expecting this. And this is one of Canada's largest telecommunications companies.
Okay.
And so, me being that young, being in a leadership role either says something really good about me or really bad about, the organization for making that decision.
Yeah.
So in any case, I'm in this situation where I'm leading and responsible for people that are way older than me, right?
Always challenging.
Yeah, and it was really difficult, especially in the beginning, because I need to hold these people accountable. I've got to, get performance up, but I don't know how to relate, right? These are people with, mortgages and, children and all of these kinds of things. So it was a really difficult kind of beginning stage and introduction into leadership. And so lucky for me at the time, I met my mentor there, and he taught me about the art of facilitation. Yeah. And over the course of the next 10 years, I would do a variety of different leadership roles, but I'd also do a lot of training programs during that time. So I got a ton of exposure. And as he introduced this to me, he also introduced me to this idea called emotional intelligence. And as he started to walk me through it, he talked about how this was kind of this missing link in leadership development. And I'm like, pause, what do you mean leadership development? I didn't know that there was a thing called leadership development, that we actually develop leaders, and it's a very intentional process.
It's very unnatural for most.
Yeah, so all of that was very new to me.
Yeah.
And I sort of fell in love with this idea, but I could also see very clearly the difference between the horrible leadership that I experienced and the great leadership that I experienced. And it was never really about what the leader knew intellectually. It was always about the way that they showed up and the connection that they were able to create and how they made me feel, so that I was inspired to kind of show up and be my best. So it was like this intangible thing. Mm-hmm. And what I learned was there was an entire model to make all of this work. And so we started doing these training classes, all kinds of different training skills, from sales to leadership to communication. And we decided, let's inject a little bit of this EQ, kind of like at the beginning of some of these courses. And so when we started to do this, people leaned in. And I remember one time we had this gentleman, he came to us after, he said, I just want to say I appreciated everything in training, but that EQ stuff that you did, like at the beginning of the class, I went home and applied it and had a conversation with my wife like I've never had it. We've been married for 30 years. So there's wider application for this. But what ended up happening is people kept coming to us, telling us these extraordinary stories about how not only were they using emotional intelligence in their roles, but they were using it in their personal lives. And it was making like this huge difference. So then now we're like, okay, there's something here. It's more than just a workplace skill. It's a life skill.
Right. Okay.
And that was kind of the beginning of learning how all of this applied to the leadership space, to the corporate space, to running a business, to all of the challenges that come with running a very complex business.